at the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands reversed. So this is a beautiful energy because this is talking about really not being stressed out about anything anymore. Okay, when this is upright, you're kind of stressed out, you put a lot on your plate, a lot of activities going on. And in terms of love life, you know, maybe kind of dating a lot of people, or afraid to date a lot of people, or afraid to start dating again. And if you're in a committed relationship, there was a lot kind of going on in your relationship that caused you to feel a little stressed out. So this is reversed. So what this is talking about when this is reversed is it means that you're not stressed out anymore. You're not barricading yourself off with activities. You're just open, free, honest, kind of excited to move forward with respect to your love life and relationship. So that is a beautiful energy to take into, I'll put this up here, take into September, through September. Now, coming from your past, we have the Three of Wands reversed. And what this is talking about is the need and the acknowledgement that there is more that you can do in your love life, in your relationship. Okay? Even if you're single, even if you're in a long-term committed bond. When this is upright, it means that there's not much more you can do. You've done everything. You're waiting for your ships to come in. But reversed, there is more you can do. Okay? You're kind of looking at your situation in your love life and you're realizing that, hey, I'm not dating anybody. I need to start dating somebody. I should go out and meet somebody. It's time to meet somebody. What can you do? Go on dates. All right? If you're in a committed bond and things are needing some repair work or a discussion needs to take place, this is telling you that you have, or you had, this is in your past, you had the power to make adjustments as necessary and start those conversations. Now, your central energy for September is the Ace of Cups. So this is gorgeous, right? Because this is talking about the fact that you are going to have a new phase in your love life, or a brand new love. It's going to make you feel beautiful and loved and cared for, and you're going to want to do nothing but the same to your potential partner or your partner. Okay? Your cup is overflowing with emotions. You're feeling the love. You're giving the love. This is a beautiful primary card for you in September. And actually, Aries, based on your astrology, you're going to be focusing a lot on yourself and your health and wellness. And when you do that, it kind of, and I talk about this a lot in my private readings, but it brings back that vibration or that frequency to yourself, so you're not projecting so much onto the other person. You're not pushing energy onto the other person. You're pulling that energy into you, especially when you're focusing on health and fitness. And by doing that, it changes your frequency into something that's centered around yourself. And when you do that, it brings other people's vibrations and other people's frequencies to you. So it is of no surprise that there could be a brand new love on the horizon for you. Could be a little crazy though. This person could be a little too overzealous. Okay, this is somebody that is very excited. They're not thinking clearly. Even though swords, air energies, usually are very logical, very analytical, they tend to think very clearly before they act. With this energy, he's acting without thinking. So despite all the work you're doing, even though there's a new love on the horizon, kind of take it slow. If you're new to dating or getting back out there in the dating field, or you're just meeting people, kind of be a little cautious and take things slowly, because this other person or somebody is going to be a little overzealous. So that can be good and bad. And this is in your challenge or your benefit position. So just be a little cautious of that. Keep things at bay and move things at your own tempo. Don't get into one of those instant relationships. Okay? If you're in a committed relationship, your partner might be going through things, because we're still coming off of that solar eclipse energy. There's a lot of planets starting to go direct starting at the end of August. Mercury is going direct the 4th, 5th, 6th of September, and it's going to be changing a lot of energy. So just be patient with your partner if you're in a long-term committed bond. Focus on yourself, which is really what you're going to be doing, Aries, this month. the foundation is the Nine of Swords reversed. So if you've been coming out of a heartbreak or a long-term relationship or a big stressful period that you've had with your partner, that energy, that worry, that stress, it's going to be dissipating in September, Aries. You're going to start feeling the weight lift from your thoughts, the anxiety-ridden rabbit hole spinning thoughts that we can get ourselves into. That's going to be dissipating, and you're going to feel like you're in a much more emotionally healthy place to start inviting in love. And that's exactly what this is. And also from your past, with respect to quote unquote there is more you can do. There is, and there was, and there still is. And part of that is releasing this toxic energy, releasing these sleepless nights, and taking care of your body and taking care of yourself and eating healthy and getting enough sleep, drinking enough water. And I know that sounds very basic and cliche, and I say this a lot in my private readings because some of this stuff is basic, it is cliche, but when our minds are spinning with turmoil and toxicity from arguments and relationships and control, and also all the positive cloud nine stuff that we have in love, we tend to forget about ourselves and focus on the other person. So with this energy, Aries, that you have in September, to really focus on yourself and your health and your wellness, it's no surprise that this will be happening. Okay? There is healing that still needs to be done. And I know, Aries, a lot of you, based on private readings that I've done, a lot of you have been going through some really interesting, tough, and frustrating times with your love, in your love life, and with your partners and partnerships. And so there may still be healing that needs to be done. This is what's crowning your September. And that's okay, because you are in the process of doing all of that as we move into September. That's what this is about. That's what this new love is about. This isn't just a new love coming into your life and everything's hunky-dory and everything's fixed again. And no. There's constant work that we have to do on ourselves. But in doing that, it allows the doors to open for new love to enter. Maybe a little too fast. So be a little conscientious of that, but welcome it at the same time. All of a sudden, if we look at your near future, Aries, all of a sudden we're going to have doors opening and new people coming into our lives, new opportunities with our current partners. You may be juggling a lot with work, you may be juggling a lot with side projects and friendships, and a lot of activity is going to be going on because all these planets are starting to go direct, which I'll talk about in my extended reading. But there's a lot going on, and so it's going to be opening a lot of doors. And Aries, you're a fire sign, and you love to just add more onto your plate, because you can handle it. You're one of the few signs, the fire signs really, are the ones that can handle that continued added stress and make sense of it, make organization out of it, and consciously move through it in a beneficial way for everyone. So this, again, is no surprise that this is in your future. You may be dating multiple people. You may be trying to narrow things down. You may be trying to spend a little bit more time with your current loved one if you're in a long-term bond. And in doing so, you're trying to, but there's still other stuff that's been going on. There's still a lot of things that are happening in your life. This needs to be reversed. I just realized this was reversed. So add that stuff on your plate, Aries. Get busy. That's what you do best. Get busy. Make sense of it all. Everybody else can handle it. Don't worry so much about what other people are doing and what other people are thinking. And yes, we have to worry about our partners, and we have to worry about our love life and spending enough time with them and all that stuff. Yes, but take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. That's general information. We already know that. Now, how you feel about your love life, Aries, or your love situation, or your partner. We have the Justice card. So you are wanting to balance the scales, or you are working to balance the scales, or you feel that they are balanced. There is clarity here. Again, this card represents Libra, It doesn't mean you're in a relationship with a Libra, but it may. But the air energies are clear thinkers. They think, they analyze. And in doing so, Libras tend to always be weighing pros and cons. They're always trying to balance out the energy. They're trying to balance out the fairness, balance out the justness of a situation. And so either you feel that things are finally just and fair in your love life. Maybe you are in a relationship now finally where you're actually getting as much as you're giving in terms of love and attention and time and space. And so you're finally feeling like this is a good relationship where there is equality and there is fairness. Your partner, they are enamored, maybe a little too much so, but they are enamored with you, Aries, and they see a long-term future with you. They see security, they see love and abundance, they see emotional and material safety and comfort. This is a very big card for you, Aries, especially the ones that have been having a lot of issues and stress in your love life over the last few months or few years. It's as if you're finally meeting someone where you feel actually that you are an equal partner in the relationship. You know how people always say, they're my partner in crime, or I want to find a partner in crime. You know, it's not about the crime, but you want somebody that has your back and somebody that you feel like you want to have their back, somebody that's not going to let you down. And I feel here with these dynamics, even though the Ten of Pentacles and the Justice card are so different in their energies, I feel though that from your perspective and your partner's perspective, that this is a very good match. You've been missing this equality. You've been missing this fair treatment. And maybe because you've been missing this, you've been putting up boundaries and actually been really working to take care of yourself. That's what September is all about for you, Aries, taking care of yourself. And because of that, you've put up boundaries in a good way, so you're not a doormat for somebody, or you don't get taken advantage of, or you don't get lied to. You're a little bit more keen and a little bit more aware of the injustices that can happen in long-term relationships, in love. It's not just love is beautiful and everyone loves each other. No, there are people that really will hurt you and they really don't care about you, and you've experienced this. And I've had a lot of private readings with Aries that have been having these types of questions and feeling these types of injustices in their love life. And now I feel this reading is showing that this new love, or potential new love, is giving you this energy, this feeling of fairness and equal treatment. You're actually feeling like you're actually a partner to somebody. And they are enamored with you. They see a long-term future with you. Your hopes and fears, though, is the Hierophant reversed. This is not a hope, this is a fear. Because you've been to this place before, Aries, where you feel like everything's great. You feel like they're going to be your partner for life, or you feel like your long-term partner is finally coming around and everything is going to be good now moving forward. You've been to this hopeful place before. And it seems, Aries, that when you're here in this safe place, that's when things start breaking down. So you're afraid of this traditional type of commitment. You're afraid of this acknowledging that this can be long-term and it can be safe and it can be legalized in terms of a marriage, or it can have the form of a idealized structure of a real union and a real partnership. You're afraid of that because of what has happened in the past, even with your current partner. But just know that this is definitely a fear. If you're looking at this in terms of a hope, you're actually hoping that this is going to be some sort of non-traditional type of relationship, maybe something where there wouldn't be a marriage, or you don't want children, or you don't want to live together, but you still want to be together. You're hopeful, if you're looking at this as a hope, which I don't think many of you are, but if you are, you're excited that this could be something that is a little bit non-traditional. and you're looking forward to that. Seven of Cups as the outcome. This isn't fully solidified. They may be a little overzealous. There may be a lot of love and a lot of cloud nine energy going on. Yes, we see that. There may be a lot of hopes and fears that we have about the future, but we're taking things slowly if you're in a long-term relationship. Okay. Are you trusting your partner? Are you really going to spend a lot of time working to trust them? Are you going to give it a lot of time to see if what they're acting like and what they're saying is real, in fact? If you're dating, maybe you want to keep your options open. Maybe you're not ready to completely get overzealous and settle down with somebody yet. You might be just really wanting to take things slow because of this place that you've been coming to. It can definitely go to that relationship and that commitment stance place very quickly. But I think you're going to be managing that a little bit more on your end in an effort to take care of yourself and protect yourself. So this is a beautiful reading, Aries. I'm very excited for you. You've been needing to have this type of a love reading that is self-centric for a while, because the other person can't love you if you don't love yourself, and vice versa. All right, I'm going to pull some advice and clarifying cards for you, Aries. So Spirit and Universe, what are the advice and high-level advice and guidance messages that you have for Aries? Love life this September. Advice and guidance messages for Aries this September. What are the advice and guidance messages that you have for Aries this September? Advice and guidance, high-level advice and guidance. Clarity. Watch out for sneakiness. Okay, remember that we're talking about advice and guidance. This isn't what is happening or what is going to happen. This is merely advice and guidance. So what we're talking about here with this clarity is, before Ace of Cups, before getting overzealous, they already are. This person you're dating or seeing, or your partner, they are overzealous. They're loving you to the moon and back, for real. They want a future with you. They may already have one, but they're in love with you again. Really in love. So you're coming from this place of understanding that there is more that you can do. There's always more we can do, really, but you're coming from this place of self-preservation, emotional protection, your own emotions, and kind of this place of mistrust. And so what you're doing here, this advice is to make sure that you do have the clarity that you're seeking before jumping to conclusions. Because we all know that through time, once the relationship is extremely safe, once promises are made, once there is talks of future, once there are solid actions towards a future and safety, emotional safety, we all have had relationships that all of a sudden there's this screeching halt placed on the safety and emotional well-being of the relationship, because all of a sudden sometimes we find out that there's some sneaky behavior. As advice, these two cards are meaning, they're not saying that this is happening. They're not saying this at all. This is just saying, take it slow, get the clarity and confirmation that you need to ensure that this is not going to be happening. Keep your barriers up, take care of yourself first before relying on somebody else's words and half-witted actions. And then the Five of Swords reversed is talking about that if you can do this in your love life in September, we will have a win-win situation. This person, even though they're a little overzealous, maybe a little crazy about you, they do have true honest intentions here. You're taking things slow. You're keeping your options open. Even if you're with a long-term partner, You're not believing 100% just yet until you can verify that this is solid, that they are trustworthy, that they won't lie to your face. Once you can validate and verify this, then it will be a win-win situation. So high-level advice and guidance. Watch your back, protect yourself, protect your emotions, take care of yourself, and then we can see a win-win situation. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to pull from another deck now. Before going into the extended generals where I tie in astrology, I will still be referring to this spread in that. But I do want to talk about this deck as I slowly get familiarized more and more and more with this deck. This is the Mary L. Tarot deck by Marie White. I had this in my last set of weekly videos. I used this. Aries love life in September. Messages, advice, and guidance for Aries love life in September. Aries love life in September. Messages, advice, and guidance for Aries love life in September. Okay. These are reversed. I don't want them to be reversed. I don't know if these are all going to fit. There's this Seven of Swords again, Aries. This is the first time I'm doing these out here, and the setup is different. And this is the first reading that I'm doing because Aries is first, naturally. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Chariot. So it is time to move forward. It is time to trust in these in this deck. They're like the spirit animals, but they guide us. Okay, we can't have our spirit animals, we can't have our fairy spirits, fairy guidance, fairy angels, whatever it is that you believe in and you look to for guidance, even if it is just you think it's your own intuition, whatever it is. This is saying, listen to, this is her heart chakra. Listen to your heart. Listen to your intuition. It will tell you where to go. And don't question it. Go. Don't question it. Go. So as you're protecting yourself, Aries, as you're taking care of yourself this September, which you really will be focusing on health. It's in your 6th house. And I'm going to talk a lot about natal charts in the extended generals, because one thing I will say, when you hear astrologers and tarot readers talk about, oh, this is in this house and this is happening in this house, that is very important to understand, but it's not based on your sun sign. It's based on your rising sign. Your rising sign is your 1st house of your natal chart. So if your rising sign is Aries, this is more applicable when I'm talking about the health and wellness and taking care of yourself, because that is your 6th house. If your rising sign is Aries. Very important. I'm going to actually show a chart and talk about the houses a little bit. I'll get more into it each month. But it's important to realize when people are talking about that something's happening in a certain house, that is based off of where your rising sign placement is. So, we have the Chariot here. I don't know if you can see this. Okay. Listen to your heart. Take directed action. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust yourself in your love life this month, Aries. Okay, central energy is temperance. So yes, this is the card of Sagittarius. Be open, but stay grounded. This card in this deck doesn't show ground. It usually has the angel woman pouring water between two cups. She has one foot on the ground, one foot in the water. Listen to your emotions. Listen to your soul. Listen to your emotions. But stay grounded. Fiercely stay grounded. Don't run away on cloud 9 because love is beautiful. Taking care of yourself is the most important thing, and love comes to you when you take care of yourself. If you look back at your love life, the times when you're most attracted to somebody, or the times when you idealize a relationship or a person, or you put them on your pedestal, it's because they have their boundaries up, and it's very attractive. Don't underestimate relationship dynamics and attractiveness dynamics. There are causes for attraction. It's not just chemistry and soulmates. It can be that too. But there are reasons behind that attractiveness. And it is someone's boundaries and how they take care of themselves. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever. That causes attraction. Take care of yourself. Stay fiercely grounded. Really listen to yourself. Central energy. So we have 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 8 of Wands. You are going to have, Aries, and this was in your advice on your last spread. So you are going to have moments of doubt and crap. Somebody told me what this emerald is in my weekly last week or 2 weeks ago, and I completely forgot what she said. I'll have to look it up. But listen to yourself. Okay, this crow here, crows are the symbol and they represent death. And the snake in biblical terms represents what? Satan. He was very cunning, and got Eve to take the apple. So listen to yourself. Listen to your emotions this month when you're faced with fear of something that happened in the past. Don't be too afraid and think everybody's going to take advantage or that they are lying, because they might not be. But watch out for it. Don't be naive in what people can do to each other. And I think, Aries, you've actually learned that lesson. But you're still very keenly aware of this dynamic. And it causes you to have your barriers up. It causes you to be a little bit of afraid. And that's why we see that kind of pulling that we saw in the last spread, and that barriers going up. It's a good thing to have those, but don't let it paralyze you. And then the 8 of Wands is swift communication, and we saw the Knight of Swords rushing in. So someone's going to be very, very, very much enamored with you and really wanting to communicate and move the relationship forward. Maybe multiple people will be. And so protect yourself. I like this depiction on this card because she's actually protecting, she's kind of surrounding herself with her emotions. This lion here is like, rah, I want you, I want to communicate with you, I love you, rah. Okay? Don't laugh at that. But she says, no, I have to protect I will talk to you, but I have to keep my boundaries. I have to protect my emotions. So there's this distinct barrier that is emotions here between this fiery, passionate fire energy, okay, and this lion here, and then her safety beneath her own emotions. So protect yourself. I think you are, and you will be, because of the past. And I think that's part of this temperance. I think that's part of listening to your heart chakra this month, Aries, before moving forward. Underneath this too is we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is looking for fairness, looking for equality. You're done with this business. You are done with this business. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune. Things are really going to be turning in your favor. If you see where this wheel is, it is in part of her root chakra and her sacral chakra, which is really the beginning essence of where we emit love from. Okay? And in females, if we have to have our sacral chakra even and spinning in a warm, positive place in order to invite, and I don't want to get too technical or sexual or anything with this. It's not sexual based, but with women, our sacral chakra becomes increasingly important. And if you, Astrolotta has a video on this specifically. She's like an 1.5 hour long video specifically on women and their sacral chakra being safe. Once that is safe and protected and healthy, okay, it allows us to emit a frequency that invites love, caring love to us. So I love the depiction on this card because she can't see. She's focusing on the health and wellness of her root and sacral chakra. And if you're a male, okay, this can go vice versa. Yes, I understand that. But the purpose behind this card is to not focus so much on seeing and trying and working towards getting. It's focusing on your own internal health and your own internal being. And when you do that, you invite higher level love, higher level frequencies, or whatever it is we're talking about. We're talking about love here. But we invite that. It comes to us. So she's not out seeking it. She's aimlessly wandering on this boat. She's blindfolded. And she's focusing on the health of her root and sacral chakra. 8 of Cups. There is a sense, there is a fear there is a threat of walking away, and this is from past energy, Aries. There is this sense of being too close, or in a kind of a fight or flight energy for you, Aries, with respect to what we saw in the last spread. It's a fight or flight energy for you because she's protecting herself again. She's cloaking herself, cloaking her emotions in her ego. That's what the lion is. And when we talk about the Star Regulus, and I'll probably go a lot more into this in my the extended generals, but when we talk about the Star Regulus, it is in the constellation of Leo, and it does, it's part of the lion. I want to say it's the heart. I can't remember. I actually can't remember. I'm going to have to research it, but I can't remember if it's the heart or the brain of the lion. And so she's protecting her emotions with her ego. Okay, it's a very powerful star. It has impactful placements in our charts when we learn what house it's in and what planetary alignments it's next to. It becomes very important to our ego and our power moving forward throughout this life. And so she's actually cloaking herself in her ego to protect her emotions, and in doing so, walking away from a relationship. This can be temporarily. We always know that the 8 of Cups can be temporarily leaving. But there is this kind of fight or flight here because of things that have happened in the past. Paralysis, deceit, emotional protection, even when things are good. Taking care of ourselves, trying to stay grounded, trying to stay balanced. But there's this fear there of when it gets too good, is that the end? Should I leave when it's good? There's this sense there of, oh crap, when's the bus going to come hit me? Because this is really good. Because in the past, Aries, things have been very good. And you were led to believe certain things and they did not happen. And then all of a sudden this whole realm of deceit and lies and manipulation came into play. And you became very aware of what people can do to each other. And how people can treat each other. That's what this is. That's what this protection is. Protecting it with your ego. Which is interesting because cups are a watery energy. They're very fluid with their intuition. But when you see the 8 of Cups and it's surrounded by a lion skin and a lion head, it's all ego-based. It's walking away to protect as a form of protection. Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, King of Swords. So you may in fact be dealing with 2 separate individuals here, Aries. You may be dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You may also be dealing with somebody that is an air energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or somebody that has a combination of those energies in their chart. You are taking on this Page of Wands energy. So you're trying to be open. You're trying to invite in love. You're really excited about meeting people, or even if you're in a long-term bond. Again, if you're in a long-term bond, all of this stuff still applies. There's fear of being hurt. There's emotional protection. There's protecting ourselves with our ego. Overly exposing our ego to protect our own heart. This comes even in long-term relationships. Possibly even more so in long-term relationships, Aries, because when we're in long-term relationships and marriages, you know, that we go through a lot with our partners, don't we? There's hate there, there's love there, there's lust there, there's chemistry, there's business aspect of a relationship and of a marriage. There's also resentment. There's also broken promises. But you choose to stay out of love or obligation. And so even if you're in a long-term relationship, all of this still applies. You are listening to your heart and you're making decisions to move forward in a positive, safe way with your partner. And you're bringing messages. There could be a fire sign too bringing you messages also, but somebody's bringing warm, inviting messages that initiate love, that initiate connection, that initiate activities. So combining the spread that we just did and combining the small amount of knowledge that I just dropped on you about astrology this month, this is very much so a month of taking care of yourself, and it is also very much so a month of protecting yourself. Oh, I thought I ripped one of these cards and I just about died because I just got them. So, but also intuitively, cognitively knowing that it's time to move forward, it's time to resolve conflict, it's time for resolution, it's time to invite love, and it's time to take action. We've been in this murky place, everybody, for a while now. Some of us have been crazy busy at work. Some of us have been trying to get on board with our health and fitness. Some of us have been trying to date. Some of us have been trying to resolve conflict with our partners, but they're not doing what we want, so they can just deal with our stress for a while. You know, we've been kind of thinking along the lines, but now it's actually time. And in an effort to really focus on taking care of yourself, protecting yourself, your health and your wellness, it's going to change things in your love life for the better, Aries. Okay, high-level guidance. High-level advice and guidance for Aries. High-level advice and guidance for Aries love life. Additional high-level advice and guidance. And isn't it funny here how we go through this hurt and protection and barriers, and then all of a sudden when we move through this energy, keeping in mind this overall energy for the month, things really start to work out in our favor. When we're aware of things that can happen and we protect ourselves, it opens up a possibility, and all of a sudden there's people in our midst, people that want to be there. Isn't that funny? High-level advice and guidance for Aries. High-level advice and guidance for Aries. High-level advice and guidance. Eight of Pentacles, Four of Swords. I love this Four of Swords so much. I'm going to talk about it. I've been spending a lot of time on that card with my private readings, and it warrants a discussion in this deck. This card warrants a discussion. High-level advice and guidance. Eight of Pentacles. Work. Take your passions. Take your innocence. Take your effort and the grounding, tangible things you want to build in your life. Okay. Remain innocent enough, Aries, because you can be very jaded here. Even though the Eight of Wands is extreme communication in a very positive way, they can also be arrows of love, Cupid's arrows. So even though that's here, you're still somewhat jaded. So believe in love and believe in yourself enough, Aries, that you can combine the goals and tangible things you want to build in your life, in your love life, for yourself, with your partner. Combine that with the innocence. Okay, believe that it can happen. Work on what you want to actually make tangible and real in your life, and combine that with the passion, and get to work. Get to work. If you are wanting to have a relationship and get married, or have a baby, or even get a divorce and meet somebody new, if you're wanting that, get to work on that. Advice and guidance, get to work. Even more important now becomes this Four of Swords as advice and guidance. Even more important. This is, we all know, swords represent air energies. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Air energies are ruled by their head and their thoughts and their ideas in this ever-expanding realm of thought and creative knowledge. Creative thought and knowledge. That's why this card is 95% sky. Okay? Air, clouds, birds. It is ever expanding. The universe, what's above our heads, is ever expanding. It literally is expanding. And that is how air energies think about things and life and people and ideas and concepts. Now, what's so important about this card? Why am I going off on this card? Why? Because, Aries, we can have all the ideas in the world. We can think about things. We can fantasize and dream about love and dream about this and dream about that. But if you look here, there are two bolts of lightning. And there's a ground here, the earth. And the bolts of lightning are actually touching these two man-made buildings. These buildings are man-made. They were conceptualized out of thin air. There were, okay, the innocent, the dreams that something can happen. They were conceptualized out of thin air. Then there was a plan made. Okay, tangible plan, written down, drawn out. People were hired. How much does it cost? Can we do it? Should we do it? What's the function? What's the purpose? And then the passion behind it. Maybe they ran out of money. Maybe workers walked out on the job. Maybe people were hurt on the job. But they let the passion continue to push them forward. They believed in this innocence enough to believe that it could actually come to fruition and be built. Now we're just talking about two little towers here, okay? I understand that. I understand that I'm going off on a tangent here, but I think this is so important. I personally think this is so important. To realize that we can have all of the dreams and all the ideas in the world, but unless we actually connect it with fire, by the way, Aries, with fire, connect ideas and dreams and thoughts with fire to something real that is touching the ground, that is actually built, something that can be built. Okay? That's what the Four of Swords is. When they're talking about resting your soul and resting your mind and clearing out your thoughts and getting to a solid base level of where you actually are wanting to do. That's why the Four of Swords represents clearing. And I've never seen it depicted in any other deck this way, and I think this is such a brilliant way to depict this, because clearing out our thoughts, not to get rid of thoughts, not to get rid of dreams or ideas, but to sort it out and figure out a way to connect it to something that can be real, that can be built. And then using the passion to actually put the work in. Hugely important. Hugely important. And then we have the Two of Pentacles here, Aries. She's being blinded right now. These coins are covering her eyes. and she has to remove one in order for her to see. She has to choose an option, and the Two of Pentacles was in your last spread, the guy that was juggling the pentacles. So you don't want to sit and juggle forever. For a while, it's fine. Juggle multiple people, figure out who you want to date, who loves me more, who likes me more, who would I have a better life with, okay? Juggle lots of projects at work, put your relationship on the back burner for a minute, but you can come back to it, okay? You got to juggle so things can earn a priority in your life. So, but until you actually remove one of these coins and then see the actual outcome of your actions or your choice, okay, then you will remain blinded. So in terms of advice and guidance, Aries, for September, this is really talking about keeping the passion alive, keeping the innocence. You've been hurt. You have been lied to. You are protecting yourself. You almost are not believing in the goodness of people anymore. But believe in that innocence. Take the passion behind it, but don't forget to stay grounded. And don't forget to work hard for what you want, because this can be built. But you got to connect it with your passion. That's the key. A lot of things, Aries are so brilliant at getting things started and getting ideas. That's because they are the connector, right? You're brilliant at it. And then it takes a lot of times like an earth sign to come in and say, hey, let's focus on the details. We got to get this done. Got to do this list of 300 things before we can build this. Got to do this list of 600 things before we can do X, Y, and Z.